Warning, 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 warning. This is a Lunacy Podcast. Code Red, hold on, Code Red, here we are. Pick up your iPads, your cell phones, and have me and listen to Uncle the Podcast. Watch out. If you're sitting down for this, or if you're standing up, you better get ready for this, because it's gonna hit the eardrums. Uncle the Podcast.
You are listening to Uncle the Podcast. My name is Aaron. I'm the nephew-in-law. Here with me is the star of the show, Uncle.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. And it's 333. Hey, we're getting up there, people. We're getting up there. What we got? A wash down. Who's washing? Oh, there's a click. Oh, our chat room. What do we got in the chat room there now? Let's see who we have.
We're looking at the...
Funny accidents? Are you there? I want you calling on the telephone.
Right. I haven't seen creative accents in...
What do you mean don't hear them, man?
No,
I hear noises in
we haven't seen creative accidents in a bit. We haven't seen crazy accidents. We do have open phone lines, and we have an excited crowd. Sorry.
Who was that? That sounded like somebody.
That was your excited crowd, and applause.
Must be reading the signs.
There you go.
You guys all reading the signs?
They're reading the signs.
Don't you see it coming?
You know, the applause sign that's over Uncle's head that is only Uncle sees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I don't see any.
You don't see it. I see it. 'Cause it's my show, not your show.
Oh, gosh.
You had your show already last hour.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I don't see anybody in the chat at least our live stream. Oh, wait, there's Electric Daz. Morning from the UK, 4:13 a.m. over there. Okay.
Oh, man, he's already starting. He's starting early in the morning. This is Saturday morning for the man.
I wouldn't be awake if I were him. It's crazy, Uncle. Yeah, thank you for being here, guys. And then we have the Ocelli chat. Lots of action going on over in that one.
What they do?
I see Phase Shifter. I see the Ford Freak. So Chuck has been active over at the Ocelli.com chat. So we're here. We're live on Friday. We're taking calls if you want to call in. 319-527-5016.
That is a number to call by talking to me.
Yes.
That's my number to call me. That's what you guys want to call. All right. Who's just chatting back and forth?
There's a lot of noise. A lot of sound.
I hear a bouncing sound. It's keep going nuts back and forth.
Indeed.
Look like I found it.
Is the button still sticking, Chuck?
Something's sticking.
Yeah, some buttons are sticky, but I think I might have resolved the issue, hopefully.
So there's just random sound effects going on, Uncle.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm hearing. I guess it's going through my ears, and I can hear that.
Okay.
There it goes again.
So now Ray, the Ford Freak, has moved over to the Twitch chat as well as the Ocelli chat, and he's saying, "Hey, Uncle and Aaron and Daz, it's 12:13 a.m. over there in Western Australia."
Here comes Jimmy. Hello, Jim. You're on air. I know who this is.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, he got me. Uncle got me. He knew.
Yeah, I knew it was you. I have brain surge to know this guy when he calls. He's either usually the first one on it, or maybe the second to the end. But he's usually the first one.
I've noticed that
I'm
sometimes.
noticing that. Well, too many of you boys couldn't make it, man. Yeah, but hope next.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I mean, that first half, they were ahead like 17 points.
Yeah, but how did they blow the game like that? That's my thinking. How did they blow the game so?
That's what I'm asking you, Uncle. I'm out. I've racked my brains. I don't understand how you lose like that.
Goff isn't like that. Goff has been playing with us for a longer time, and then went over to you guys to get you there, and he did get you there, but then he sort of screwed it up in a way.
It wasn't Goff's fault. That loss was not his fault.
Well, didn't he have a?
That
didn't do with a pick, didn't it?
That was the coach's fault there. I know that.
It was the coach's fault.
Yeah.
I hear it's about other things, but I don't know. But
his name? I can't. I think I'm super tired today because I'm having trouble remembering just basic stuff. Yeah. What is the name of the coach of the Lions, Jimmy?
Jimmy would know.
Yeah, Dan Campbell is the problem.
Campbell, that's the one. That's him. Campbell.
He's a good coach, but he made some terrible decisions in that championship game.
Well, you know, in the terms of gambling, when someone goes full tilt, what it means.
Oh, they're gambling and they're taking like the most extreme risks no matter what. They just go for it.
He said that on his talk.
They'll just keep going they'll just keep going in the same direction right till they're broke. And that's the way he was in the fourth quarter. He took over from the coordinator, the offensive coordinator, and he kept going for it. He kept going for it, and there's a couple times he should have kicked it, took the 3 points. And
that's what we were saying. Take the 3. Forget about the 4th down.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been closer, even though he might have won.
There were 2 chances to do it. If he would have gotten just one of them, he would have won.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. Yeah. So that could have happened.
So for the listeners in India and the UK, which we have live tonight, they're talking football and not the kind of football you would call footballs. Just so you know.
It's the different kind. I know what kind.
Well, I'm just letting you. I know
the kind he's thinking. What they're doing. They're thinking about.
I'm trying to be slick let the listeners in Australia, England, and India. India is the unusual one on the list here. Know that we're not talking about the kind of football that you would call football. Or in Australia, there's something they call footy or something. I think it's.
Yeah, I've heard them call it footy.
Well,
but they do call it that.
That I think is more like rugby. It's not soccer though. It's something else. Footy. Maybe Ray can help us out with that. Let us know what is footy, Ray, as opposed to football. Which is not the American football we're talking about here. Regarding the Detroit Lions and all this. What is that, Ray? Help us out in the chat and tell us what is footy in Australia, because I don't remember.
We need
that's like rugby or what?
Because we're clueless.
Well,
because we're American.
What I thought. Let's start to talk about what are we talking about here tonight? Answers.
And we were just showing, and we were
Ray just said that Aussie rule footy is played without padding. So it's played without padding.
Right.
Okay. So it's a football game then.
What's football without the pads? Is it?
Yeah, no, it ain't a football game.
Hey, did you give out the numbers, by the way? Because also we have a listener in Germany that just joined us. But just letting Uncle know all the internationals. But if you're international, you're better off reaching out to Charles.Ocelli on Skype. Send me a text message and I'll call you into the show. But did you give out the phone number, Aaron?
I gave out the number, but you're right, especially given our friend in the fatherland is listening. So if you have Skype, you may come onto the show no matter where you are.
Right.
If you can do that by typing a message to Chuck. He is Charles.Ocelli on Skype.
I believe it's cheaper that way.
Yeah, it's free.
That person.
Free.
Yeah. It should be free with Skype. Free. So just type Chuck a message. He'll bring you on. Or call 319-527-5016. Yes, please come on the show.
Yes, and you can be on just like Jimmy James is. And with that, I'm going to shut up because I got to step away from the microphone for a few minutes. Anyway, so you guys are on your own and you're stuck with Jimmy James till I come back. Okay.
Oh, boy. Yeah. What will we do, Uncle?
What's been happening there, Jimmy James? Well, other than that.
Well, I got a couple hearing aids.
Oh, somebody's got a hearing aid. That's something in this house only one person has, but two more people need.
2 more people need?
Yes.
Are you one of those
and your
people?
wife.
Me and my wife?
Yes.
I was thinking maybe you'd say
your wife.
She can't hear anything.
She can't hear nothing.
Really?
Yeah,
she needs aids already at this age?
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if she needs it.
Well, because I ask one thing and I get the other. We had a discussion. Oh, let me explain this, right, Jimmy. We had a discussion at the dinner table.
Oh, God.
Here we go. We might as well talk about something.
Okay.
And this is the only thing I can think of right now.
Okay, well.
I said I wanted Chinese food.
Uh-huh.
And she said she didn't hear me.
Huh.
Plain and simple said that. And
became quite the
conversation at dinner table.
Conversation, yeah. It's did you want Chinese or did you not?
Yeah, they said what you want, and I told her. That just don't make sense to some of these people.
Jimmy, did you have a good dinner tonight?
You have a good dinner.
I've been in China. They don't call China food China food.
One would imagine they don't. Yeah, they probably just call it food, right? That's what I would guess.
Yeah. I would think
but
so.
I don't know for sure. I'm not there right now.
Have you watched my Saturday specials?
Ooh.
The movies?
Yes.
Jimmy?
Have you seen those, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Well, right now I got to do all my internet stuff on my phone, which I'm not real good with these phones. So until I get my laptop going...
Oh, you don't have your laptop?
Me finding stuff it's kind of rough.
Oh, so you mean you don't have it sort of set up? You're saying
right? I don't have my laptop set up, so I'm doing everything through my cell phone. I mean, when I want to get
it to me. Well, when you ever do get it set up, I'll have on Saturday morning. You can drop in or call in, or just go on the chat.
VHS watch party with Uncle.
Yeah, go on VHS watch party with me.
We do that Saturday morning.
And I do that on Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you can see them.
We should be back tomorrow morning with more VHS tapes.
Yeah, we're having more coming.
What was the last film you watched?
That long one. What was the name of it?
We watched The Stranger, which is a film by Orson Welles. We watched the whole thing. It was longer than I thought it might have been, actually. But it was good. It was an old black and white film noir. It was cool.
I thought it was going to go pretty high, but there was things in there that I didn't take a full effect of making it over. There's something was missing. I don't know what.
You didn't give it a very high rating.
That's what I don't, because usually I like those.
I thought it was a pretty good film. Yeah, we still have it up. It's up on YouTube now if you want to go back and watch it. It's
on the YouTube right now.
So
want to see it.
Go check it out. We have all our old episodes of that, and any live stream we do. We have the old gaming shows up still. But
are we going to do those gaming things anymore?
We might. I'm trying to, Uncle, we need to build an audience. I don't know quite how to do that. But the one thing I know how to do is just keep making these shows. But to get large amounts of people watching is the question. But I always feel like we can, and we're on the edge of that, and I don't want to stop making the shows. Right. So we'll make them for their own sake, but I want to bring back the gaming show when maybe if we can get the audience at a little more capacity so that more people are watching them and we can do more engagement with the audience while we're doing it. But I'm loving the VHS Saturdays just as a fun thing. I want to keep doing those for a while now.
Yeah.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's okay. I get a kick of laughing at these things sometimes.
We got some good tapes here in the waiting. These are the choices that we'll have to choose from. Tomorrow we can either watch this Tai Chi for Health video. We could watch Tai Chi, Tai Bo, or the Three Stooges we might watch. So we've got those 3 tapes lying in wait. So it's going to be one of those that we end up watching. Yeah. Or maybe multiple.
Gee, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one. You get the Tai Bo, the Woo Bo, or the Three Stooges. I don't know which one I'd be picking.
Three Stooges? I was thinking that.
Three Stooges. Yeah, I mean,
I'm tempted to get that one soon, but I got to get these Chinese things out of my way.
Just like you didn't have Chinese food at dinner tonight, Uncle. Maybe we could watch a certain tape and it will satiate.
Tape on this tape thing. Maybe they'll have something better than not eating. Maybe watching something.
Your unstoppable appetite for all things.
Well, the appetite. What's happening, I guess.
I hope you guys get some of those video magazines. Do you guys remember that they used to make what they called video magazines back in the VHS days?
Yeah, I used to subscribe to 411 Video Magazine, 411 VM, which was a skateboarding specific video magazine, and that thing was awesome.
Why don't we go back to them?
If I find one of those at the thrift store, you better believe I will buy it and we will watch it on the show. I haven't found one yet, but if I do, I'm picking that up. That was the video magazine I know, Chuck, but I'm sure that there were a ton others. What other ones were there?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the name of my favorite one actually was. I'm drawing a blank at the moment and it sucks because I know I spent a lot of money, and a couple of times I even went and got them from the video store for rental and taped them myself. Oh, Hard and Heavy, that's the name of it. It was a magazine called Hard and Heavy. It was a heavy metal magazine.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Then there was some sort of sci-fi or not sci-fi exactly, but like a perfect companion to Fangoria. It was like a video magazine like for like horror movies and special effects, like crazy, like, I think they might have been the first people to come up with the idea of Cronenbergs. You know what a Cronenberg is, right?
I know David Cronenberg. I'm not sure what a Cronenberg is. What is that?
A Cronenberg is a general description for like a body horror monster. Like, if you remember, like John Carpenter's The Thing, where like the guy they hit him with the flamethrower and his head is burned off and it sags off and then it sprouts spider legs and the head crawls away. Remember that?
Okay. Yes.
That would be a Cronenberg. Or when you see like people like totally twisted, like into weird deformed piles.
Yes, yeah. That was quite popular in those old horror movies like that. Yes.
I'm actually going to look that up real fast and see if there's like an online definition for it somewhere. But I know that used to be a phrase. It's a Cronenberg or a Cronenberg monster. Let me see.
I'm guessing they probably got that from David Cronenberg. He has films where those things were in them. I didn't know that he was like kind of. I don't know if he even is like the guy credited with like the creation of that as a trope, or I don't know what's going on. I would assume that's why they named it after him, right?
Yeah, that's let's see, the artist. Okay, well here we go from Wikipedia, unfortunately, but from Wikipedia it says body horror or biological horror is a subgenre of horror that showcases grotesque or psychologically disturbing violations of the human body or to any other, creature. I didn't mean to belch on your show. Sorry about that. Characteristics. Where's the Cronenberg mention of this, though? That's what I got when I put in the word Cronenberg monster.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, David Cronenberg rules. I still haven't seen Scanners, though. I need to see Scanners.
Oh, you never saw Scanners?
No. I feel bad about it. I want to see that.
Wow.
I've seen Videodrome. And I forget I've seen a couple others, but I've never seen Scanners. Need to.
I'm really surprised.
Ain't that the one? Is that the one with young Julia Roberts?
I don't know.
I can't think of the. Let's see. If you look at the Substack, I'm trying to find this. The artist as monster, the cinema of David Cronenberg, but they describe him as As a matter of fact, on a recent, a couple of seasons ago now, Rick and Morty, right? Mm-hmm. They described the whole world because they twisted people into these weird deformed monsters and the whole planet. They said they Cronenberged the universe. Like the whole world was Cronenberged. Like it's described as a what do you call it? A verb.
I mean, one of the more famous movies that did that was The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
I remember a fly from what's his name.
Remember that movie, Uncle?
Yeah, and they had the kid, and what's his name got man in his hand. I'm going to get you. Well, it ain't at the film. And then they went going, my thing's looking down. I'm not getting my guitar straight. He lost it.
Interesting. That was The Fly?
Yeah, it's a fly.
Really?
Yeah.
The Brundlefly? I can't remember.
That was the fly. The guy,
Brundlefly.
the guy
That's all
was
from the
losing his
the Jeff
mind.
Goldblum.
He was losing his head, and then he started losing his hand.
Yeah, that's the fly.
That's the fly.
Okay, it's been a while since I've seen it.
But the point was,
It's one from the 80s, the Jeff Goldblum
he was
one,
trying to get his parents to like each other, to get it together. And the point was on that was that little guy that he was punched him all the time, and he kept saying, Mr. Men, Mr. this and this, and did the wax the car and all this.
Maybe that's part 2, The Fly 2, where it's like Son of the Fly.
I remember
back to
Goldblum's character trying to fight for the love of a
You're
woman,
talking
right?
about Back to the Future, Uncle, right?
Oh, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was the fly.
That was the fly?
Mm-hmm. He was
Marty McFly.
McFly.
Marty
yeah.
McFly.
Marty
yes.
McFly.
Marty McFly. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. There's Cronenberg in that movie.
That's
somewhere.
Cronenberg.
Gotta be. He's doing free word association here. See, we're talking about the movie where the guy turns into the fly, Uncle, which I know you saw one of those at least. Either the old Vincent Price one.
Oh, yeah. I saw that one.
Because there was an original black and white The Fly.
I don't know if it was black and white originally, but it was Vincent Price is in.
Oh, yeah. That's
there's The Fly. There's Return of the Fly, which the Misfits made a song about. And then there's like the remake of The Fly from the 80s with Goldblum, which I think is the most famous out of all of them. And that has that Cronenberg style transformation where, slowly and steadily Goldblum becomes less a man and more of a twisted genetic freak.
And you mentioned Brundlefly, which is how he identifies himself when he's, making recordings for science. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Brundlefly. Yeah.
Brundlefly.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Uncle goes McFly, Marty McFly.
Yes, he makes the fly. Yes.
Uncle, speaking of McFly, which one's your favorite? My favorite's part 2, where he's Biff owns the town and he's rich and he's got that big casino.
What? I haven't seen number 2.
Part 1, 2. You don't remember 2 where they're in the future and Biff Tannen has that sports almanac and he's gambling?
I do remember Fly Guy, the driver got hit.
The driver got hit, okay.
Well, and he had to go back.
Oh, well, there's the third one where they go back to the Old West. Well, they're like in... Are they still in?
Uncle is referencing the first Back to the Future because Marty falls out of the tree and gets hit by the car instead of George.
Okay.
And then it hits the bell, and they're trying to get the bell close to the thing.
That's all the first one. Yeah.
Yes.
Have you seen any of the part 2 or 3 of that movie, Uncle?
I might have to go back to him.
You've only seen the first one, maybe.
I might have to go back to him.
I bet you he's seen them and he's mixing them up. Do you remember when they went to the Old West, Uncle, and he's actually back in the Old West, and now it's a gunslinger and ZZ Top shows up?
That's right. He was doing
that's part 3. Yeah,
something about the shooting. I do remember the fighting and the cowboys.
Yeah, and they show it at the end of part 2. They show you ZZ Top in the Old West with the guitars, and they spin their guitars. In the Old West because they're kind of dressed with the cowboy hats and they're just dusty looking.
Right. The guy was going down with the hand thumb going this way.
They have to get the train becomes the time machine.
Right,
they have to get
that
up to 88 miles an hour.
Yes. No.
Remember that, the train?
Now I'm starting to remember.
And in
something.
that one you got Mad Dog
it's
Tanner.
the train.
Yeah,
I remember the train. Yeah,
Mad Dog Tanner. See, that's part 3. Okay. But the part 2 that Aaron was just talking about is where he goes, into the future and he tries to, fix things and, it's your kids, Marty. And he tries to fix stuff with his kids and then he ends up going back to what he thinks is 1985. And it turns out what Jimmy James was talking about, that Biff, the bad guy, who's the bad guy in every movie, right?
Right.
He's either Mad Dog.
The guy that did they cleaned the car.
It's either the descendant of or antecedent of Biff Tannen from present day Back to the Future reality.
Maybe I have to go back to number 2. I know number 3 and number 1. Now that you
Right.
You got me with the train. I might have to go back to 2.
I think
to look at that over.
It's worth a watch.
You got
Worth
a
a
marathon.
watch to see that one.
It's an odd one. It's a dark. As the second in a trilogy usually is. It's the darkest of the 3.
Yeah, that's the marathon that you got. You see, there's a VHS marathon for you right there. Is Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned with copyright issues. I don't want to get like huge flags on the accounts or get like an abundance of ads on things. I kind of went with the Orson Welles film because I think it might be free of copyright issues. I'm not 100% on that, but I got the feeling it was. But I took a chance on that one.
Which Orson Welles?
It was The Stranger from 1946. Okay. It was a post-war movie. It deals with World War II and the Nazis and all that. Actually, it was like 47, 46, 48, one of those years like that. So it's pretty old. Early Orson Welles. He was a young guy then.
I just got fired a suggestion for, and I don't know if this is true, but it used to be true at one point, is that Night of the Living Dead had like no copyright restriction at all. Like,
yes. Well, our buddy Count Pupper has he did that marathon of watching a bunch of them on Twitch. I watched a bit of that. So he did that. I know that was the copyright thing. I don't know. I have a copy of the Blues Brothers here, which I'd love to watch and do the show of, but I'm a little nervous to watch. Yeah, we got the Blues Brothers right here, but
nice
I'm a little nervous to put that one in because of the copyright.
Oh, yes, that one. I like to see that.
I love this movie.
Well, definitely.
I want to. That's the one I want to see too.
Good movie.
Definitely. You'll get hit for copyright when you all the musical parts in the blue. Everybody forgets about the musical parts of the Blues Brothers, but
really, I know that's a big part of it.
Yeah, but it's weird. People forget most of it.
They forget.
When that come out?
I don't know. I've had this conversation
I think 80
a couple
or 81.
times.
Let me see. 1980.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it's like I tell them that
I want to see that one.
Aretha Franklin literally sang in that movie, and they're like, "No." I'm like, "Yes, she did." I'm telling you.
What? They don't remember that?
Yeah, I had this conversation a couple of times this year alone.
What in the hell? James Brown is in it. Aretha Franklin's in it.
Oh yeah, they're all in it.
But all they remember is those guys singing. You know, like they remember Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi singing. They don't remember the other performances. Like you just said, James Brown. I'm like, how do you not remember James Brown singing there? Oh, no, I just remember, the fat guy and Dan Aykroyd. Okay. This is what this young guy said to me is I saw that movie years ago, and I know that it was just those guys singing. And he remembered they sang country music at one point. I said, well, not really. They sang the theme to Rawhide and, a couple of dumb things.
Yeah, but it was a bit. It was a funny bit that they did that. Yeah, that was all part of the joke that they sang that. I love that.
Well, they got stuck because and they stole the gig from, oh, my God, the guys who were, like, clearly, like, old school country, like, before they modernized country music. We're actually, whatever the name of the band was, remember, he says, we're...
Blues
the good old Blues Brothers. Because it was the Good Old Boys. We're the Good Old Blues Brothers boys from Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, something like that.
And they're getting bottles thrown at them, and the chicken wire, they're breaking on them the whole time.
Right, which is used to be a real thing in blues and country bars, by the way.
I'm curious.
Oh, you're talking about the chicken wire that?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I believe it.
Like they show you in the movie Roadhouse.
Now you get me thinking about it.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah,
I'm gonna see.
Ray Charles is in that movie.
We might put that on tomorrow. Now that you got me thinking about it.
Well, I don't. No.
Why not?
I think it's best if we don't. Let's keep watching Tai Chi for beginners and things like that we know that we're not going to get in trouble for.
Why? But this is not in trouble?
Well, I'm afraid we're going to get like hit on our channels, and they'll take our channels down or something, or they'll just pepper them with ads, and then something like that.
What about Bruce Lee movie other than Enter the Dragon? You won't get in trouble for watching those.
Really?
What are those?
Okay, well, I'll keep my
eye out for those then.
I'll keep my eye out for them if that's a case.
Well, I know what your problem is then.
What?
I know what you're going through here.
Uh-huh.
Getting these tapes. First of all, let's make sure they're legal to get them in this machine.
Yeah.
But you're just now saying about the Blues Brothers here.
Mhm.
You're afraid to use that tape to try to watch a good show. That probably would be a good show.
Oh, it'd be great to watch.
And now you're saying it's scary.
Well, no,
It's scary.
I mean,
it's not scary.
it's
The
scary.
trouble.
You've got to check that out there, Sidekick.
What
And
I see-
when you look at your tapes,
Yeah.
make sure you're able to,
Well,
we
no,
can
I
get
think-
into them and we have no problem.
Yeah, but see,
Well, I
here's
mean-
the thing, Uncle. Aaron's trying to get stuff that's good and also trying to get stuff that, look, it's a good movie, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get away with putting it on YouTube. That's the trouble with this whole copyright, storm that they put us under on YouTube. Like I remember a long time ago, if you made certain noises on YouTube accidentally, they would turn around and hit you with a copyright strike because you made a similar noise to somebody else. I mean, it was that bad at one point, but now they've cracked down on everything so much. It's all about the money. They don't want to lose money, you see. So, if you use one of their songs, you don't pay them.
Talk
Yeah.
to some of these people that make the movie, just as I say,
Good luck.
and could we borrow your talk on that? Like, for the example, that's Blue
Yeah,
Brothers.
you
but
want to try to get the rights to this?
But there's the
rights
trouble.
to-
Okay.
At least to watch it.
Well, look.
But
listen,
there's the
you don't-
Uncle, let me explain something to you real fast. You're going to hate this, but let me tell you, it's going to make you crazy. You could talk to the guy who filmed the movie. You could talk to the guy whose name is on the movie, the actors, and everything else, and ask them, and they'll give you permission. The guy who wrote the movie, even. It doesn't matter. It's not them. Just like the musicians. I've had musicians on there like, you got to be able to play my song on your show. And I do it and I play their song on my show, even though I'm promoting that musician. And a publishing company turns around and blocks their song on my YouTube. That's it.
Well, then we got to go straight to them.
You got to go to the lawyers, Uncle.
Oh, we got to do
This
all
is-
that mess?
Yes.
And-
Why are we playing these then?
Well,
That's
listen,
what I'm saying.
look.
And then here's the problem. You could buy anything, right? But like, if I wanted to use a Megadeth song at the beginning of my show, I could do it. But you're talking $5,000, Uncle, for a couple of years worth of being able to use it. $5,000.
Just to
One
use
song.
a theme song?
One song.
Yeah, right. It'll go crazy.
You see?
I'm already going crazy with
Well,
this noise.
Do you? I'm sure everybody remembers when I will mention this, but when you put a tape or any sort of video in its player, you press play. What's the first thing that pops on the screen? FBI warning.
FBI warnings.
Yeah.
They always that way, though.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're talking about here. It's
But
the
that's-
same thing.
Yeah,
The
but
FBI could come after us.
See, I wish it was
Wait.
just the FBI, because that was the thing. They could charge you back in the old days, and that's why you don't see those as much anymore, because that was the big scary thing. Nowadays, they literally catch it and crush it, and that's it. Like, they've made it so you can't copy it. You try and play a song up there, either they take it over and they run all those ads on it, like Aaron said, so that they get some money from you, or they deny you being able to even use it. You can't even use their stuff.
This is actually, if you think about it a minute, going to a thrift store, Sidekick,
Yes.
getting tapes.
Uh-huh.
What's the purpose us going in the store, getting tapes, and we can't have to listen to the tape
Well, listen.
if they have
Well,
a
that's part of the
problem.
trick.
It's-
See,
it's
that's
fine.
part of
I
the
think
trick.
we're
That's
go-
the thing that
that's-
Sidekick is doing that's very cool, is that he's coming up with stuff that they're not going to bother you for. He's trying to find not only good stuff, but stuff that they won't bother you for. See, Uncle, that's the double trick here, and that's why it's not that easy to find stuff that you're going to be able to use for this. And that's the fun. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, because it is. It's a pain in the neck, and it's like, you know what? I understand these guys want to get paid for their stuff, but when things are 40 years old, 50 years old, they already got paid. Come on. You know what I mean? It's over at some point, right? Come on. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. But if you want to use a video game, do it all day long. They let you do that.
Yeah, that is odd, isn't
is
it? That is very interesting how video game media has made it a part of the culture and the legal framework that, yeah, you do stream them. It's very fascinating to see that, actually. So
I think next time we go to the thrift store, I have to watch what you buy. I mean, this is what I have to watch him now. Now that I have this FBI stuff looking at, I have to see.
Yeah.
I mean, because this is getting to me, Chuck. I understand your point of thinking of how does something like this get involved with my party and then have FBI humans on a thing. And they're saying, you can't do and then this. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
it is.
It's all about copyright laws.
Copyright people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's watch a movie without you copywriting.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's the problem.
The podcasters demand this entertainment industry. You gotta change at some point here. Something's got to give.
And them guys got to give.
Mm-hmm.
Give the people a break to watch a movie without having to this problem that everybody's talking about.
There must be an answer.
There has to be something.
Yep. So this way, the only way it works is authorized podcasts through the people that control the media, and what they say is, you know what, we'll let your podcast have it, but only the ones that they control and own actually have free access to it, you see?
Yeah, and Ray just sent me something about fair use, which is like a thing within copyright law. You can cite fair use, but that gets all of copyright law is like just one giant gray area, honestly.
Right. Like the funny thing is that a few years ago, it used to be, look, if you're playing clips, you could play clips, and as long as you're making commentary about it, you have free use. You have open use, right?
The commentary you meaning is judging.
Yeah, so
but you guys should be able to theoretically play some clips and then talk about what you just watched, and that's acceptable.
That's what we were doing.
Yeah, I know.
But doing it 1 to 10 deal.
Yes, but there's always a but.
Now there's a but.
But
yeah, it's a lot of things.
I like these buts. Don't even get the words out.
Yeah,
we want to watch something. Get it out and stop button.
Uncle, I agree with you.
This button
Look,
stuff.
me and Sidekick.
My show.
It's exactly like Pee Wee Herman.
Pee-wee. Oh, yeah.
Me
Pee-wee
and
go
Sidekick.
crazy right now. He'd be
But me and
pissed
Sidekick agree with you. Yeah, me and Sidekick agree with you. You got to understand, though, it's not us, right? It's not us at all. Me and Sidekick, we absolutely agree with you. But here's the thing. When he's saying, okay, it's supposed to be fair use, but you know what's after that but? About 300 pages, I kid you not, of conditions and rules.
Just
conditions and rules.
And regulations. Can't watch a tape.
Get the specialty lawyers in, Uncle. You know what, Uncle? This is interesting.
That's why you hire
this
a
is
lawyer.
very good that we're talking about.
Do you remember? I know that Chuck will remember Winston Conrad, who we've had on the show before.
Yes, I remember that name.
Been a few years,
is an attorney, and he actually has a specialty in this area. So he knows a bit about
I got
intellectual property.
We got a job to do.
Yeah,
you got another job to do.
Do I need to find him?
Find him about this. Yeah. Exactly. You had the point.
Yeah.
Try to get him on my show or your show or something to have this thing solved.
That would be a good show.
Because that'd be our lawyer about doing this, trying to get these tapes to use.
Okay, so the last thing I'm going to say about this, Uncle, I want you to know something, is that Winston Conrad, years ago, he hasn't been on your show in like 5 years, all right?
In a while.
5 years ago, Winston Conrad told us all, believe it or not, on Aaron's show, go back in the archives, that exactly the situation you're in right now was going to happen to everybody. Because back then, that fair use but wasn't 300 pages. It was only like 3 pages. And he said, you watch, what they're going to do is create so many different regulations across the map that you're not going to be able to do any of this anymore. Any of this stuff, any content you create, you're going to have to create it yourself, and you better watch what you use, because everything you use can be attached to one of these copyright laws where you're going to wind up having to pay somebody. And that's all there is to it. So he warned us about this on your show.
Mm-hmm.
that this was going to be the case.
How come you weren't listening to it? Now you are telling us to play these then.
Well, we were all listening to it.
That's a good point, Chuck.
See,
you just made a point.
Okay, but see, I knew about all this stuff because when we first started the show, yes, I told Aaron when we first started the show, I said, Aaron, listen, everything that we do as far as the intro, the outro, the stuff that we play during the breaks, all this stuff, we have to make it so there's no copyright claims on it. That was one of my conditions with starting the show. It's been so many years ago. I said, Aaron, whatever it is you want to use, we have to use stuff that we know for certain has no copyright claim. That's why and by the way, I could use those 10-gauge songs again. I miss those. But
those don't have copyright.
There's no copyright on.
I don't know what does and what doesn't now. Since we're talking this,
that's the thing.
Talking about this stuff,
and I play my own music on the network. Right, all that music you hear stuff that I know I played, or stuff that I am certain that the artist does not have a specific copyright thing out there, so that we're going to get hit from CD Baby and the publisher and Apple and everybody else coming to us saying, "Look, either stop doing this or you're going to pay us a lot of money." So I told Aaron we needed to set up the shows so that we could keep them all and not have these problems in the future. That was one of my conditions for starting the show. Remember, Aaron?
Yeah, no, I recall. And that's why we have our own theme song. We recorded our own theme song. We use that. It's ours.
You got
it's not. Yeah,
because nobody else can lay claim to it.
That I understand. Now that I understand.
It's an important part of it.
Yeah.
So this is one of these things that we've had to be careful about the whole way through. Otherwise, they'd be turning around. Let's just say, we use some song at the beginning of Uncle. Even though you love the song, there might be a guy coming to us, listen, you did 300 episodes with this song, so you owe us 300 times for this use.
Gosh.
Yeah, there you go.
I see what you're talking about now.
You know what I mean? And if the guy turned around and said, look, you owe us $10, 300 times, that's still a lot. Okay, we're going to be paying $3,000 for a piece of a song you wanted to use. So this is why we've always been careful about this stuff and not playing copywritten material on the podcast. That's why.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah, I get you.
All right. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now because, I don't want to take over the show. But I wanted Uncle to understand this because this is a very tricky thing that Sidekick has to do, to pick something that's not going to be a problem and that you guys can use for even these live streams. Unless you're playing a video.
What you're doing, Sidekick, looking at these tapes?
I'm not entirely sure, but I try to be careful.
Nobody's perfect at this, Uncle. I'm going to tell you now. Unless you're a lawyer, you're not perfect at this. But Aaron's doing a good job. I just wanted you to know that. Okay?
Yeah. And actually, it's part of my training. I went to school for media.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and this was back in the early aughts, as they now call them. And I was my instructors. They tell you look, you got to watch out for using copyright material. We would do when you're taking a video class in school. There's a project, you always do a project like, make a music video, take a song, and put your own images to it. That's fine for a student project, but they would tell you hey, look, when you go out there and you make material, don't mess around with anything that's copyrighted because you'll get hit for it. And this was back then. So this was before, YouTube even existed. This has long been a thing. But then since the internet came along and really changed into what it is today, it has evolved. But yeah, I come from, I was instructed in this quite a while ago. And so it's always been something that I look out for.
A question I want to ask you now. Since you've been into this system and knew how to do the tapes, how would you know that it's not a copy?
Well, one of the things about it too is whether you yourself and your own media that you're making is bringing in any money to begin with. If you're bringing in money, then that's when the copyright owner will come after you. If you're making material, you're making media and using copyrighted material and you're not making any money, it's useless to come after you. But again, the game has changed a bit online where all it takes is view count. Actually, if you have large view counts on YouTube or whatever platform, then you're using copyrighted material, those view counts, the volume of traffic amounts to something now. And so it's just a different media sphere now. It works differently. And just the automated policing of this, the systems, these digital systems that can recognize and pick out copyright material on behalf of the copyright owner so that they may get paid. That was like something out of a sci-fi movie when I was learning how to make media back a couple decades ago, but now it's here. So it's weird now.
Yeah, the songs that we listen to, for example, on the radio, on the phones or whatever, those are people's songs.
Yes.
That part I understand. You don't ever copy theirs. That is against the law, even trying to. Well, I mean, you can't even go near.
It's the same thing
But it's the same difference.
Yeah.
Let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
It's the same difference as these tapes in the same boat like you're all talking about.
That's it. Yeah, it's weird. But I think if we watch certain videos, we'll be fine. And actually, I think the things that are less likely to have any issue with copyright actually are, in a way, more entertaining to watch than if we did even watch something like the Blues Brothers. I think if we ended up watching the Blues Brothers on VHS Watch Party, I think your and my commentary might be like not – it'd be less a part of the watch party than if we're watching some obscure exercise tape. It's going to be us talking over the exercise tape to make it funny, whereas a movie like the Blues Brothers or any big Hollywood movie is so engaging in and of itself that we just end up kind of watching it. And honestly, that kind of happened with the Orson Welles movie. I kind of got drawn into that and didn't talk as much as I would if we were watching one of these more weird
I noticed
things.
You weren't talking as much.
It was a good movie.
Watching that one.
Yeah, it was long too. So,
yeah.
But I don't know. It's fun to watch tapes on the Saturday Uncle. We'll do it tomorrow. Press the button, everybody. Go over to YouTube and press the button.
Jimmy, what do you think about it? Hello? What happened here?
Yeah, I agree that they got some real confusing policies and whatnot there. Used to be anything that was broadcast over TV. If you taped it, you could play it, do whatever. Same with radio.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought, but no.
To a degree, but then also like even the old football games would be like, this is a presentation of the National Football League. Any unauthorized reproduction is
that's clearly saying blah, blah, blah. That's clearly saying on the TV right there. Yeah. That I could understand because that's clearly on it saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they even add in the bravado. Even discussing the game is illegal or supposedly against their policy.
Illegal. What about the people?
So they say that you aren't even allowed to discuss the games. So all I could say is whatever. I'll plead the first.
Then how come these other people are betting on them all the time? And turning around and betting back and forth.
Well, that's a whole other can of worms, Uncle. Cause
it is?
Because now you're getting into a giant sponsor of the NFL now.
That's a sponsor?
Well, yeah. The Vegas and the gambling, all these weird gambling apps and stuff has become one of the major sponsors in football. And that's a whole interesting – it goes even down conspiracy lane for people too quite a bit with that one. But we could spend shows and shows and shows talking about that alone. But, yeah, it's interesting.
I know. What did I know?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people complain it's like the death of football because of their marriage to these gambling things and blah, 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 blah. I don't know.
You know, this has been the first time that it's gone to Vegas.
Oh, yeah,
football,
it's interesting.
The Super Bowl. They never had it gone to Super Bowl in Vegas.
True.
When did they now starting to come back and now they're saying, now it's a gambling thing?
Yeah, it aligns to that. Yeah, it does align with that, doesn't it? So,
it aligns right to the front of it, saying, he's gambling this and gambling the game. So why can't they go to Vegas and watch a Super Bowl?
I have noticed that there have been a lot of ads on TV and news stories in air quotes online or on TV saying about like, the turnout in Vegas is huge. Everybody's come out to town to see the game. And obviously not everybody's there with the ticket, but they're showing up anyway. It's a big for Las Vegas tourism, obviously, bare minimum.
I think what it is, it's again, like everybody's saying here, money.
Yeah.
It's the money involved of it, money involved with it.
Yeah, right.
That they're saying, okay,
Clearly.
let's bring them in.
I've always
let's go and play that.
I've always
I
loved
heard a rumor that they already got, like, they're going to choreograph, like, a part in the fourth quarter where Taylor Swift's going to point at her belly and start rubbing it.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, no, that's stuff now.
Yes, that's a whole nother angle.
Oh, that's a completely different story. You talking to his girlfriend and boyfriend down in the field? You know what's going to happen then, dude? Don't you know, Jimmy? You know what's going to happen to those two? I know what's going to happen.
Child. I heard she's going to mouth, "I'm pregnant."
Okay, maybe.
And they're going to focus the whole fourth quarter on Taylor Swift and not even barely show the play.
Well, look, with the last...
Heard about that? You sure you heard that? That is tough. That is tough operation. I'm sitting here watching
top
football.
operation.
And then we turn around and somebody's having a kid.
He's sure. Somebody's having a kid. Yeah, it's going to be quite a game.
The last 5 minutes of the show is here. I always love that part of the NFL.
This is something something to talk about.
Yeah. But I always love the last part of the NFL, Major League Baseball, whatever disclaimer that says any reproduction, rebroadcast, images, accounts, descriptions or accounts. I love that part of it. Descriptions or accounts. So basically, whenever you report on this, if you talk about the game, if you distribute the game, if you have any pictures from the game, you're not supposed to use them anywhere at all without the express written consent of the NFL, Major League Baseball, whatever.
Yep.
Right.
You know how this ties back to our watch party, our VHS watch party, Uncle, is a couple of weeks ago we watched a sports highlights VHS tape, and none of the highlights were from professional league sports. They were all from college level or under.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Because of this. That's why.
Wait a second. You're right. There wasn't no NFL.
Nope. No NFL, no NBA.
Yeah,
no
it was all college. That is true. I've noticed that.
It's because
the last second one that we saw, was it the second?
Yeah, I forget what the title of the video was, but it was
Sports is something.
Yeah,
Sports is something. And it was sitting there, and it was all called college things. Mm-hmm. Nothing about the NFL.
Nope.
Maybe,
there were guys who ended up going to the NFL, but they were playing
maybe there was a game in the NFL, but that was all. But didn't have much to say about it.
No, there was nothing. There was nothing from a clip from NFL, nothing from Major League Baseball, nothing from NHL, nothing from NBA.
No.
Some of it was high school games.
Most of it was
most of it college. But yeah, so and some of it was some obscure stuff too.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
It was the same reason. So back then they made that tape with clips that they were able to get away with because they were.
That's right.
They were like public domain essentially.
Now I see. I understand now. I understand this now.
We're getting there.
Yeah, it's taking slow to figure it out.
Uncle, should we have Jimmy do a shout out? You want to do that?
Oh, it's time already.
I think we're about there.
See, I told you we get something done.
Bang bang.
Okay, Jimmy, who you got for a shout out? Hold on.
I guess I'll shout out to the late Gaston Glock, who passed away at age 94. Over a month ago, but no one's ever mentioned it much. Mr. Glock, of course, founded his beautiful handgun, the Glock.
There you go.
Good man.
What is Glock?
No one shoots like Gaston. Better be careful not to sing that, Uncle, or I'll get hit with a copyright violation.
Oh, on these things. I know you on these things.
We can draw Steamboat Willie, but we can't sing that song, Uncle. Do you have a shout out, Uncle?
That chicken man. Forget about him, too.
Chicken.
Now again. Oh, shout out to all the people out in the United States that have been listening to me. Sure hope you come back next week. You'll be listening, or even if you want to try to call, Call Chuck. Make it cheaper.
Do it.
So that's a shout out to you.
And don't forget, everybody, to press the buttons on all of our social media. We got Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. They're all at Uncle Podcast. Also, you can find us on Twitch for the live stream. UncleThePodcast.com is the website. We're live on O'Chilly.com, O'Chilly Radio Network every Friday. What is it, Uncle?
Another thing that I have to mention. We haven't gotten it yet, but whenever we get the meatloaf, we're going to have a show with the meatloaf.
It's coming.
And it's coming.
Get ready.
And what you don't want to taste, Chuck.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
The mix in.
Sauerkraut.
I had tuna fish the other day, and I actually have a can of tuna today that I just got in my hands, and I'll tell you, I'm thinking of it and thinking of you and what I don't want to eat. So, yeah. That's the way that works. So no matter where you are, if you're listening to us right now, if you hear the sound of my voice, don't forget to smash that button, like, comment, and subscribe on whatever platform you're using for Uncle or O'Chelly or Aaron Franz or whatever the hell it is they're calling it if they haven't hijacked our copyrights yet. Smash that button, like, subscribe, and comment. Comment, like, subscribe. Smash that button. There you go.
Good. Very good, yeah. You can't forget the button. Well, it's very important.
Your turn to, what you shout out to?
Oh, I'm shouting out?
Well, I didn't hear yours.
Sure.
You don't even know.
I'd like to thank the Academy for their fleet of lawyers that they employ to go after anybody, any kind of scofflaws that try to rip off a good, honest industry doing good work that pays their people, and they wouldn't be able to pay anybody if crime ran rampant and intellectual property was not respected. How about that for law and order, Uncle?
Okay.
How's that for devil's advocate?
I don't know. These brothers is getting to my thinking now.
Yeah, I know. It'd be fun.
Then you put it down.
Be with us tomorrow, Saturday. We'll watch something.
We'll watch something and we'll be on. So if everybody also wants to tune in and call in or look in, I should say look in.
Any of those,
the tapes will be on.
Yeah. What time does that watch party start on Twitch and all those?
We don't have a set time.
There isn't a set time because he goes on when he's ready.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like either morning or afternoon on Saturday, whenever we're able to actually make it to the computer. So just be watching on Uncle's YouTube, Twitch,
my YouTube will switch,
X channels, and it'll come on at some point early on the Saturday.
Well, there's our show 333. Bye-bye.